right, shares of Barrick Gold are higher today, up by about 4.6%. The world's second largest gold producer, becoming one of the few major mining companies this earnings season to deliver a positive surprise. Joining us, the man behind that, Barrick Gold CEO Mark Bristow. Mark, great to see you. What led the beat? And that's my way in to talk about how you managed your costs more effectively.
So, Alex, nice to speak to you again. It's about communication, really. It's nothing else. We communicate to the market consistently. And sometimes in a bull market, the market runs away with a story. And it's a responsibility of management to let the market know what's actually happening in the company. And that's what I've found as being important, is communicate. And the other thing is to make sure that in times like this, your company's protected by a strong balance sheet, no reliance on the market itself, to be able to deliver against your medium and long-term plans.
Mark, let's talk a little bit about your supply chain, which is long and complicated. In that supply chain, where are you a price taker? Where are you a price maker? And where are the biggest issues within that supply chain right now?
So, of course, Guy, when you see what happened in Eastern Europe, we all became price takers to a degree. I think the importance is to have multiple sources of key inventory, and in that we the key ones are cyanide, of course, explosives, and the ingredients to explosives. But everything has become rather tight recently, and during COVID, we managed that process largely through having multiple sources, because we moved steel ball suppliers from China to Eastern Europe, back to China again, back to Eastern Europe. So it's about understanding and being able to be flexible. We have big capital projects in Dominican Republic, for instance. We had to go and hire entire ships to keep that project on track. And so it's just about being flexible and understanding your business as a business, and being careful not to get caught up in sort of corporate activities.
So, Mark, to that point, your all-in sustaining costs rose about 4.1% from the first quarter. And that's like a labor, supply chain, energy, all of that kind of stuff. What's your visibility in the back half of the year in 2023? And I guess a two-part question, like when does that peak and when does it actually come down?
Yeah, so Alex, the point here is that costs come in lots of different packages. And in a mining business like as big as ours, there are many variables. There's grade, there's growth capital, there's strip ratios, and they don't all come at once. So it's a convenient excuse to use inflation as, the answer to all our problems. The fact of the matter is we are in a cyclical business as far as revenue goes, and the costs go up and down. And so the way to protect one's business and ensure sustainable profitability is to pitch your quality of your asset at a point where you can survive the cycles. And we're going through one of those parts of the cycle where you have a compression both on the revenue side and the cost side. And do you have the assets that are able to manage through that? And Barrick definitely has those assets. And I think you've seen that. A strong dividend payout today, still a net cash position in the company, a future that doesn't require new assets to be able to deliver against. And now we're embedding growth in that business going forward.
Mark, we just talk about those new assets. You don't need them. That is the message that's coming through loud and clear. But nevertheless, if you're able to manage costs better than your peer group, which appears to be the case at the moment, at some point in the cycle, does that ability to manage costs better than the peer group provide problems for others that provides opportunity for you?
Yeah, I think, Guy, to put it clear, I'd like to believe that, but it's not true. What we do is manage quality better because we're disciplined and we make sure that we stick with quality, which gets you through these times profitably. So, of course, that ultimately, and again, we took that strategic decision to grow our copper portfolio. It's a good time to be growing your copper portfolio as the price softens. You saw the transaction proposed by BHP today. So, these times bring opportunities, of course, but right now we have embedded in our portfolio quite a few growth opportunities without having to go out there and make acquisitions. We've looked at a lot of the acquisitions, and it's that discipline that gets you through the long term, is not to get caught up buying premium assets at a premium at the top of the market, which we saw at the back end of last year and early this year.
So, Mark, you may not have your checkbook out. Do you think your peers do? What do you see for M&A? You're looking at BHP sort of bidding for Oz Minerals. Do you think that others are going to take the opportunity to open their checkbook?
Well, I think and I've said it for a while, Alex, the big producers, the big miners have to look at rationalizing their portfolio. They've definitely copper, I can understand people want more of. And, BHP is a big bruiser. It needs to make its long-term decisions. It's using a softer copper price to do it. I think that's eminently logical. But I think that we're seeing at the moment quite a few deals where it's a deal of necessity rather than an opportunity to create long-term value. And that's what our focus is we're hunting those value opportunities. And if we can't buy them, we'll find them. That's our motto.
Mark, do you see a recession? And what impact would a recession have?
Well, I think we're already there, Guy. I think, we like to believe we're not. But, the pressures on across the world, I think the key is the whole world is, dysfunctional at the moment. We're in the developed world are not worried about those countries that are really struggling. We left them behind in the COVID crisis. We're now talking, you saw the announcement of some new legislation coming out of the United States last night. It doesn't really reflect on the rest of the world. And, no one's an island. So the economy is hurting. We've got another conflict opening up in Asia. We've got this critical issue in Eastern Europe. South America is in bad shape. So, it's this world needs some leadership. As business people, we have a responsibility to invest and participate in the development of all countries. And certainly Barrick is, I've always said, if you want to be world class, you have to be global, and we're definitely global.